Alright guys, I'm going to be talking to you about how to tie the knots today. There are 3 specific knots that you need to know for horsemanship. One is how to tie this halter on. It has this little knot right here on the cheek piece, and this has to be tied properly. I'm going to go over the difference between tying it right, tying it wrong, and the reasons why we have to tie it a certain way. Alright, we're going to cover that in just a moment. The other 2 knots are the quick release with a daisy chain. This is how you tie a horse onto a rail, something that's firm, something that's in the ground. It could be a high line. Anything that is structurally sound, you can use the quick release with a daisy chain. All right, this is a hard tie knot. It's something that's not going to come loose whenever the horse pulls back. However, if you are there, you can get the horse loose pretty quickly and get him to safety. And the third knot that we're going to tie today is called the false tie knot. Now, this is a knot that's specifically for tying a horse onto a paneled rail, like a round pin, something that's portable, something that the horse, if he spooks, he could potentially pull back and drag. We want that horse to be able to get loose if he gets into that panic state and has to get loose at some point. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the first knot, and it's going to be the halter knot. All right, so I'm going to untie this. Now when you go to catch your horse, you're going to have your halter much like this. All right, you'll have your lead rope in your hand, and when you go up to catch your horse, you're just going to take your lead rope. You're just going to take that and put that right over the back of the ears, and now you already have your horse caught. All right, now even in this position, I can lead this horse. She's well trained, and I can lead this horse just with this pressure around the neck here. But when we go to put the halter on, we're going to find the longest piece of this halter that we can find. This is going to go under the neck, and I'm going to reach over the head and just bring that in front of that rope. Now you can see that this has already created this this nose piece here. It's already hanging, ready to go on the face. All right, so I'm just going to bring that up, and then I'm going to just slide that up onto the nose, bring this long rope here around. Now here's the important part, tying it correctly. Now the first knot I'm going to show you is an incorrect knot. It's the most common incorrect knot that I see, and it's like this. They bring the rope up, they come around the top, and then they pull tight right here. Now this is a really easy knot to remember if you just remember that if it's tied correctly, I will not be able to put my finger through this loop. All right, obviously this is tied incorrectly. So I will untie it. I'm going to put the correct knot in here now. So I'm going to bring my cheek piece up to where it fits a little better. And now I'm just going to take my thumb, slide it up, and I'm going to tie around that loop and pull it out the back. Now at this point, I can't put my finger through that loop anymore. So that's a proper halter knot. The next knot that I'm going to show you is the false tie. Now this is just a knot that I made up. It's kind of the reverse of a clove hitch, and it's specifically for portable rails that are capable of moving. They're all portable, they're just standing there, they're not in the ground, and if you have a 1,000-pound horse or more, pull back, you're going to lose your round pin. They're probably going to get tangled up in it. So we want to tie a special knot here just to be able to keep them safe if they were to panic when tied off to a rail. So here's how it goes. Remember, it's called a false tie. So I'm just going to throw my rope over, making sure that I have my horse tied tight enough that she can't get her nose down past her knee. If she can do that, if she gets her nose down too far, she may get down and try to eat some grass on the ground and then step over a rope with her front feet and get entangled in the rope. So you want to make sure that you only have a couple of feet of rope from the rail to the bottom of the halter. Now, this is the first part of the false tie. We're just going to throw that rope over. Now here's the second part. Just going to hold that. I'm going to bring my rope under, and then I'm going to throw it over that and make an X. All right, so all I did was I just made an X here. Now I'm going to come from this other side of this rope. So we went this way first. Now I'm going to come from this direction, and I'm going to go back in that direction, laying it over again. Okay, so you end up with an X with a line underneath it. Now the final part of this knot is just to take these two ropes and pull down on both. And you can see that tightens that knot up. It's just a friction knot. It holds itself, but if the horse pulls, see, she thinks she's tied, but if she pulls really hard in a panic, it will release a little at a time until she does get away. And my thought is, I would rather my horse be able to escape that situation and get away rather than getting entangled in the panels. The last knot that I'll demonstrate is a quick release with a daisy chain. It's a knot that's specifically for a rail that is in the ground. It's structured, it's concreted in, it's stable. So if the horse pulls back, they're not going to break it. So I'll show you how to tie this into this ring. All right, so we're going to bring our rope through. Make sure that we have our horse's head up. We're just going to make a little bend in this rope here. All right, so we have what we could consider the horse's rope, and then we have our rope here. So I'm just going to make a bend. I'm going to go around the horse's rope and just pull that tight. Okay, so that's a quick release. It's a little slip knot. I'm going to do it again. Make a bend, go around the horse's rope, and pull them apart. Okay, so that is the quick release. Now the next part is the daisy chain. This is to be able to get the rest of your rope up off the ground. So I'm just going to feed that through, make another loop. I'll feed this part through, make another loop. This one, and then I can actually lock this tail in right here at the end, and I can let that just hang. All right, so now we have our horse tied off. However, if she were to panic about something, she's pulling back, she's getting herself into trouble, I can grab here on this handle and I can just simply start pulling, and all of this knot comes loose and my horse is free. All right, so that's called the quick release with the daisy chain.